Right, April the 30th. Welcome to the new adventures of the solar bus. So things moved on a little bit. What's happened, I've got a lot of excess power, so when I stop, I find myself in the situation where the solar controller puts the solar back into the batteries, whatever you've depleted along the way, but a 10-minute journey, 20 minutes, batteries are fully charged up again, which meant I've got a huge amount of power coming off these panels. Where are we today? April 30th. Sun's at about 35-40 degrees. But I've got so much excess here that I thought, well, maybe I'll do something with it. So we've got 48, well, typically 50 volts coming off the panels straight through the solar controller. And the obvious thing to do is to try and heat some water up with it. Why? Well, make tea and coffee, and you know, maybe even someone would want to do a business with it or whatever. So we got a thermos flask there, and I just pop the lid off. I'll pop the lid up. I'll take a measurement of it in a second, and a lot of steam and so on. That's been on for about an hour. I'll take a measurement in just a second, but that's well in excess of 65-70 degrees. You can see in the bottom there, if I'm not steaming up the lens, you can see in the bottom there I've got a water heater, and I put that in there, and the walls of this are insulated. It's not actually a vacuum, but it's a foam dual thickness insulated, and it keeps its heat for a very long period of time indeed. So once that water's hot, you can switch it off on the solar controller, and that'll maintain its temperature pretty well. Only taking it up to 97-98 degrees on my digital thermometer, but pretty pleased with that. And obviously tap there, can't fall over, it's all nicely anchored down. Now you can see the heater that I put in the side there. It's got an Essex fitting going in through the two layers, and temperature resilient silicone to stop any leaks coming out there. A bit tricky because you can't get 48 volt immersion heaters very easily. So what that is, that's a 3.5 kilowatt mains one, but of course it's the impedance of the device which is important. That's about 13 ohms, and 13 ohms, 48, 50 volts, that's almost perfectly the 300 watts, which was really what I was looking for all along. So 300 watts being banged into there. You need to control it by hand at the moment, so I can switch it off, on and off from the solar controller on the mobile phone, but I can also put it on so that I only do heating at the point at which the sun is out, if you see what I mean. So quite an efficient way of doing that. I've got about 3.5 gallons of water in there, and that's about an hour and 10 minutes to boil 3.5-4 gallons of water. So it's pretty fast in what it does, and no noise, nothing at all. And clearly you can see the tea and coffee and cup of soups in the back there. And we're going to go out for a fly today, so I'm going to load this up with some model aeroplanes, and we're going to do some pretty exciting drone research as part of my research projects. I'll be back in a minute. I'll just go and get the thermometer, and we'll just take a measurement of that after just over an hour and see what we've got.